Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Siboga TV, which is your number one online political channel. The United Opposition has actually been bringing to the public different political lineups, which they will use to go against William Samoei Arap Ruto. And those lineups have actually been coming up with a lot of criticism. But I feel that this is the lineup which the United Opposition is actually going to bring at the end. And the lineup is Stephen Kalonzo Musyoka will be the presidential candidate, and Fred Okengo Matiang'i will be his running mate. Because I've tried to look at different perspectives, and I have concluded that that will be the only lineup which will be accepted to all. But any lineup they will actually try to come up with, other than that, it will lead to the separation of the United Opposition. For example, if Stephen Kalonzo Musyoka is not going to stop at presidency, then Stephen Kalonzo Musyoka will bolt out of the United Opposition. And also, Rigathi Gachagua will follow Stephen Kalonzo Musyoka. And that will be the end of the United Opposition. And also, if Fred Okengo Matiang'i cannot be either the presidential candidate or the deputy candidate, or what we always call the running mate, then I am very sure that Fred Okengo Matiang'i will also bolt out of the United Opposition. And that is why, for me, I have come to a conclusion that if the United Opposition will sit down, the only lineup which will be acceptable for all, it will be that lineup where Stephen Kalonzo Musyoka will be the presidential candidate and Fred Okengo Matiang'i will be his running mate. And if they will have the prime cabinet secretary, definitely that will be taken by either Eugene Wamalwa or George Natembeya. And also, the National Speaker Assembly will be taken with Eugene Wamalwa if Natembeya will go for the prime cabinet secretary. And also, Martha Karua will be the Speaker of the Senate. And that will be the lineup which can be acceptable by the United Opposition. But the question is, can that lineup be able to unseat President William Samoei Arap Ruto let come 2027? Because that lineup is also creating a lot of scrutiny, because there are people who believe that if Fred Okengo Matiang'i cannot become the presidential candidate of the united opposition, then there is no need for them to go and do elections, because they believe that the person who needs to be the presidential candidate is a person who is fresh into politics, is a person who they have seen by their own eyes that that person is capable to bring the change. And that person is a pusher, is our colleague, is a no-nonsense type of a person. And that is why for those people, they have identified Fred Okengo Matiang'i, and they have said that this is the best bet to run against William Samoei Arap Ruto. But the only problem is, will Stephen Kalonzo Musyoka accept to that? And definitely it is a no, because this time Stephen Kalonzo Musyoka is actually set to stop at the presidency, and nothing will stop Stephen Kalonzo Musyoka from doing that. And because of that kind of reasoning, that is why I have told you that that kind of lineup where Stephen becomes the presidential candidate and Fred Okengo Matiang'i becomes the running mate, it is the only acceptable lineup which will finally be reached by the united opposition. And that lineup, what it will do, it will avoid the fallout within the united opposition. But will it be able to remove or to unseat or to send William Samoei Arap Ruto via the ballot to Sogoi directly? Because most of you, you know how William Samoei Arap Ruto can mean to play the game of politics. He is a person who many people call the doctor of politics, and others call him the professor of politics. And already you are seeing what William Samoei Arap Ruto is doing. William Samoei Arap Ruto still, he wants to take the entire Rift Valley. He also wants to take the entire Luo Nyanza, the entire Western, the entire coast, the entire Northeastern. And he is set to do that. And many people are saying that this time, William Samoei Arap Ruto is going to come up with tyranny of small numbers. That William Samoei Ruto is going to utilize small tribes and is going to put them together. And he will actually be able to turn upside down the politics which we have been knowing. And for the lineup which will be reached by the united opposition, it might be a bit difficult for them to unseat William Samoei Ruto the way it will be, because that lineup will make some people feel that they are maintaining the status quo, and that means there is no need for them to go and vote. Other people will feel that it is better for William Samoei Arap Ruto to continue leading this nation for his second term. And I have talked to some of the followers of Fred Okengo Matiang'i. And most of the followers of Fred Okengo Matiang'i, they are saying that if Fred cannot be the presidential candidate, then they are going to vote for William Samoei Arap Ruto. That is what they are saying. And I have tried to ask them, why do you say that? Because still, Fred Okengo Matiang'i is within presidency. And that means if they can team up with Stephen Kalonzo Musyoka, they can bring change. But most of them, they have told me there is no change which will come so long as we have Stephen Kalonzo Musyoka at the top. The change could have come if it was the opposite, where we have Fred Okengo Matiang'i at the top and where we have Stephen Kalonzo Musyoka being his assistant. That is when people can expect the change to be brought by the united opposition. And there are other people who feel that with Stephen Kalonzo Musyoka at the top, the likes of Rigathi Gachagua will spoil the government and will control the coming government, which will come because of the unity within the united opposition. And that will make the country to go backwards because they always feel that Rigathi Gachagua is quite tribal. He might not see the entire Kenya as a nation. And because they feel that Rigathi might control Stephen Kalonzo Musyoka, that's why they're saying that lineup cannot be able to unseat President William Samoei Arap Ruto. What is your take about that final lineup? Because I feel that will be the lineup. We are not going to have any lineup other than that. So you have to believe that will be the lineup. And without that lineup, the united opposition is going to break. So it's better for people to prepare if they want William Samoei Ruto or if they want united opposition with that kind of lineup. In your own thinking, do you agree with that lineup? And do you think that lineup is going to unseat President William Samoei Arap Ruto? Please drop your comment in the comment section below. And if this is your first time to bump into this YouTube channel, I request you kindly to take a minute and subscribe to this YouTube channel. Give this video a like, share this video to your friends. And if your friends are lovers of politics, then it's good to request them for us to subscribe to this YouTube channel. And for those ones who have actually subscribed to this YouTube channel and they always keep watching our videos, I say thank you because you really inspire us to continue coming up with this kind of political analysis. And with that, I say thank you. May God bless you all abundantly until we meet in our next political conversation. Goodbye.